Canelo was using the jab effectively, hard, the guy wouldn't have been able to come in because the guy was coming in because he wasn't worried about Canelo's jab. So he got more aggressive and he got brave. If he's not jabbing, he has no defense.
You know, I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo Álvarez, it's respected. You know, coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. You don't know how your body's going to react.
He's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's going to go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I'm picking Crawford too.
Mike Tyson has voiced serious concern for Canelo Álvarez's future, warning that a loss to Terence Crawford could be damaging to his legacy. Tyson noted that in past fights, Canelo has often neglected his jab, a mistake that allowed opponents to gain confidence in close distance. According to Tyson, Canelo must sharpen that weapon, using it with precision and consistency if he hopes to keep Crawford from dictating the pace.
For the jab, the guy's gonna walk right in on him, like he did. Next fight, use the jab, different fight. Well, he was really basic.
Veteran analyst Teddy Atlas acknowledged that Canelo boasts one of the most impressive resumes in boxing, having faced top-tier opponents across multiple divisions. By comparison, Crawford hasn't always fought the marquee names fans expect from a fighter of his caliber. But Atlas emphasized that greatness isn't measured solely by the depth of a resume, it's about skill, adaptability, and mastery inside the ring. He believes Crawford's timing, angles, and calm mid-fight adjustments could be the very tools that allow him to outmaneuver a champion as experienced as Canelo.
He's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Álvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has.
For Canelo, the stakes go far beyond winning or losing. Crawford is moving up 2 full weight classes, which makes this fight both a risk and a responsibility for Álvarez. A loss to a naturally smaller man would draw heavy criticism, with some questioning whether Canelo's reign at the top has slipped. The pressure, Tyson argues, is squarely on Canelo's shoulders before the opening bell even rings.
No, I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo Álvarez, it's respected. You know, coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. You don't know how your body's going to react, and you just think, you're just going to come up and beat me. We seen it with Charlo, his videos, how he was looking, moving around the ring, and everybody thought, that might work, and we saw what happened come fight night. Crawford is a skillful guy, but who has he really beaten? Spence. After Spence, now all of a sudden he can jump up 2 weight classes and beat Canelo. I don't see it. If I'm Canelo, I would have to make a statement with Crawford. Canelo cannot lose this fight. He shouldn't lose this.
David Benavidez was quick to praise Crawford, calling him a fighter operating on a different level of technical skill and mental sharpness. He highlighted Crawford's ability to switch stances seamlessly, remain composed under fire, and control the pace of a fight regardless of style. To Benavidez, Crawford's biggest weapon isn't just his physical ability, it's his fight IQ, which allows him to break down even the most seasoned opponents round by round.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Earl Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make one.
Jeff Mayweather pointed to Crawford's elite technical skill, especially his ability to read opponents and adjust with surgical precision. Still, he cautioned against overlooking Canelo's power and experience. Time and again, Canelo has turned fights around with a single punch, proving that underestimating him is a dangerous mistake.
It's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I give him. I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win.
Max Kellerman honed in on the jab as the fight's X factor. Crawford's jab, he argued, is one of the sharpest in modern boxing, a weapon that sets distance, disrupts rhythm, and opens up combinations. While Canelo once used his jab as a major weapon earlier in his career, Kellerman observed that it has become less consistent in recent years. That inconsistency could leave him exposed against Crawford's disciplined lead hand.
I'll give you a list of attributes, and then tell me who do you feel is best in that attribute. First attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring.
Gary Antoine Russell examined the cultural and stylistic clash at play. Canelo represents the proud Mexican style, calculated pressure, thudding body shots, and sharp counters. Crawford, meanwhile, brings rhythm, defensive awareness, and fluid adaptability more common in the African-American fighting tradition. Russell believes the battle of styles will be just as important as the battle of skills.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, you know. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, you know. And I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from beam to beam from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. We're talking about like not 12-round shape, we're talking about like 16-round shape.
Trainer Robert Garcia made no secret of his support for Crawford. He praised Crawford's discipline, work ethic, and dedication to mastering the fundamentals, calling his success a victory for pure boxing skill. While Garcia respects Canelo's career, he personally hopes to see Crawford come out on top.
I love Crawford. He knows that. I've seen him. I've talked to him many times, and I wish him the best. I'm actually very happy for him and Bomac for everything they've done and the big fight that they're getting. You know, in this sport, making it to those fights and making it to those paydays, you got to be happy for anybody that makes it there. So Bomac knows, Crawford knows. Now I'm actually, after Canelo's promo, I'm actually leaning towards Crawford to win this fight.
Why is that? What changed?
Because I know Crawford's, he's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for Crawford will get. I'm picking Crawford to win.
Omari Jones emphasized Crawford's smart approach to adding weight. Instead of bulking up recklessly, Crawford has strategically built strength through nutrition and conditioning, keeping his speed intact while adding durability. Jones believes this methodical preparation gives Crawford the best chance of neutralizing the size disadvantage against Canelo.
Me personally, meeting Crawford several times, it's like the man is just so competitive. It's like I don't even have to say nothing to him. He'll just like, man, when we sparring, it's like his competitiveness is always gonna put him over the edge, and then he just has that like, I'm not gonna let you bully me, or his skill set. And it, I know they talk about Charlo when Charlo moved up, but I feel like it may be a little bit different for Canelo this time around because Crawford took the moving up in weight classes serious. He did the diet and he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that, it's a win-win.
So you don't think Crawford, gaining that weight, because I saw him, he's pretty big. You don't think that's going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight?
No, it looked like he put it on the right way. The nutrition, the like I said, the training. Crawford, he trains hard, so I feel like, I know they say he probably went up to like 185, so he has to lose that weight. But I think if he did it the right way, which I know he did, he'll be successful in September.
And I know, like we discussed earlier, we talked with your pro debut, and now you're 3-0. Your last fight, July 19th against Blanco, and it was actually your third win by knockout.
Yes.
Super proud of you. How are you feeling about your pro career so far?
I'm feeling great about my pro career. I definitely feel like it's off.
Paulie Malignaggi echoed that point, praising Crawford for striking the right balance in his physical preparation. He's bulked up enough to handle Canelo's power without sacrificing the speed and reflexes that make him so dangerous. Malignaggi credits this to Crawford's disciplined training camp, predicting it could be the deciding factor in the fight.
Wait, what's your thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, Roy Jones is Roy Jones, but also Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford. But John Ruiz is not Canelo Álvarez, so that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said. You're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this, even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight.
Stephen Breadman Edwards highlighted Crawford's mastery of movement. By controlling distance and forcing opponents into awkward positions, Crawford creates openings while avoiding damage. Combined with his elite conditioning and mental resilience, Edwards believes this ability to stay composed under pressure could neutralize Canelo's trademark aggression.
Really good. But Crawford is just so clutch. His conditioning is so good. They're going to be about similar heights. Crawford's a little taller, he's longer. And I think that Crawford's adjustments in fights are so underrated. He is a master adjuster. He finds something in every fight and just goes with it. That last fight, people talk about he struggled. You know what he found that last fight? A simple jab. He just started beating the guy up with a jab. He finds something in every fight. And he don't fight a lazy fight. Canelo, for as good as he is, he hasn't stopped anybody since 2021. That's 4 years. You know why? Because he gets a little tired and gets like a little bit complacent. He's a power puncher. Anybody that punched that hard don't want to go 4 years without a stoppage. He haven't got a stoppage because he don't have the conditioning and the stamina to push a guy over the edge after he hurt him, or after, when the guy's running away from him, to still be able to go get him. He don't want to go the distance in all these fights. You think he wants to go the distance with Jamel Charlo and John Ryder and Edgar Berlanga and Triple G at 68? He don't want to, but he don't have that extra gear anymore, in my opinion, to get guys.
Still, concerns linger over Canelo's recent performance against William Skull. His punch output was unusually low, his movement appeared slower, and he often reacted rather than dictated the action. Analysts fear that if these signs of decline carry into a fight with Crawford, he could find himself overwhelmed by a sharper, more versatile opponent.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday Night Show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs slide and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Álvarez, come July, will be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but you know, he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Álvarez of 5 years ago would have handled, and he did handle him, but you know what I mean, he probably would have put some damage on William Scully.
Sean Porter added that Crawford's key to victory lies in discipline. By controlling distance, creating angles, and forcing Canelo to constantly reset, Crawford can wear him down both physically and mentally. Porter stressed that in this fight, focus and composure will be just as important as physical tools.
Yes. So, I haven't seen that Terence Crawford against Canelo in these two press conferences. They're having dinner, they have the presser in Riyadh, they have the presser in New York. That's a weak-ass push by Canelo. And, you know, that is not Canelo, what he did with Caleb Plant, that was real. You know, he slipped him and then slapped him, and that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting the knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win, and you know, but you know, I don't want to get too deep into it today, but you know my thoughts on this, the big picture, like what's looming, the fight to me, because I'm the journalist, right, is an afterthought.
And that wraps it up for today's breakdown. Who do you think takes this epic matchup, Canelo Álvarez or Terence Crawford? Drop your predictions below, and stay tuned for more fight analysis.